Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
Sam Healey, what's up, y'all?
And we're doing the opposite of the Beatles. We're invading the UK from America. We're going to the UK Gaming Expo, which is next week, starting on June 3rd, going to June 5th. Although we're arriving
June 5th.
May 31st, actually.
Well, we're leaving here May 31st. We don't actually get to the UK until June.
No, we're leaving here May 30th. We're getting there the 31st.
That's
and then
true,
we'll be
yes.
there a
You are
couple
correct.
days. So we're going to spend a couple days in London. Maybe you will see us walking around. Look for the cowboy hat.
Or the bald head.
Sam's job is to blind people so they don't see my hat.
Exactly.
So anyhow, so we're going to do a little bit of touristing while we're there, maybe play some games with people, but we will show up at the UK Gaming Expo. We'll be there early Thursday, so if you also get there early Thursday, look for us. If you want a chance to talk to us, it's probably the best day because there'll be fewer people there.
Right.
But we want to tell you we're also going to be there Friday. So what we got on Friday? Actually, no real commitments. We're going to a press preview.
Ooh.
On Friday. That's where we get to see new games. But if you want to run into us and possibly play a game, can't promise that, but I can promise that if you come up and say hi to us, we will try to talk to you as much as possible. I never not come up to us at conventions and say hi.
Well, I mean, the press preview is from 9 to 11, and then after that, it looks
morning,
like
that's it.
We're pretty much free after that. Open gaming in Hall 1, NEC. So that would be a pretty good place to go, too. I mean, we're just going to be there. So.
Then on Saturday at 1 o'clock, Dice Tower Live. Now, usually we have a big team of people at Dice Tower Live. This time it's Sam and I.
Yes.
Well, you might see a couple folks who are on our different shows, like Board Game Breakfast and the different various shows we have. Some of them might be there. So we'll be doing like a live podcast, a chance for you maybe to participate.
Yep.
And then they wanted us to do another one at 4 o'clock. But we're going to make the 4 o'clock one a little bit different. I'm going to interview different designers and publishers. So I'll be grabbing some of those. Dr. Renner Knizia will be one of our interviewees, and that's actually all I have lined up so far. Then that night, I'm playing Pandemic Live.
And I get to watch.
Yeah, Tom is in this live event. No prep needed. Sam is welcome to. Okay, I know that it's me. I believe a comedian, and then Colin Baker, who was one of the Doctor Who's, and then the fourth player, I believe, is the audience. So you can play, kind of.
I can watch.
You play as the part of the fourth player. Anyway, so we'll see how that works. I don't know. I'm going to predict now that we will lose.
Well, with Pandemic?
Yeah.
Come on, you can be Pandemic.
I can't. It depends how hard they make it.
That's a garbage game.
All right. On Sunday, then, it doesn't mention it here, but if there'll be a Christian worship service, we'll be involved with that. I think that's at 9.
Yes.
Then there's a Q&A. This is with Tom Vasel, but it's also with Sam Healey.
Do I get to watch again?
No, so that if you have questions for us, we'll answer them there, just like the live Q&As that we do.
Correct.
On the video. And then the UK Gaming Awards at 3 o'clock. I don't know anything about that, so we'll show up there. And we'll be taking video. If you see us there, maybe you want to come say shut the door. We'll record some of those. We need more shut the doors done in a variety of British accents.
Or throat punches.
I don't know what that means.
Not real ones. I'll talk to you later.
I want to see someone come up to you and be like, I'm here for my throat punch. Well, let me help you. So now this is kind of an interesting thing here because we are previewing this convention, but it's not a convention that we've been to at all.
Right.
And so I've looked online, I've read it. I know it's the biggest gaming convention in the United Kingdom.
Right.
There's a big exhibit hall. There's, I think, 8,000 people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
I mean, one of the bigger conventions we go to, Origins here, is 12,000 people, so it's almost as big as that. And at Origins, I know I don't see everybody there.
Nope, not even close.
So we're hoping to take it all in, and we'll be doing some post videos from it, and I'll try to take some video of the convention itself and tell you the different things that we saw. But we did look up things. Oh, you have stuff that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, well, I'm just be my first time in the UK, so I'm looking forward to just seeing the country and interacting with people and stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to just seeing London. and a lot of the other things. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be able to get to go to Games Workshop's headquarters and get a tour there. And I'm just really looking forward to being on your island.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. It will be interesting to see that. I'm looking forward to that too, because on my bucket list of things, one of them was going to London.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see a lot of the sites. I'm a big fan of history, and I've read all my life about different events there. I know we're going to see the Tower of London.
Yes.
Because one of our listeners kindly sent us tickets to that.
And a cathedral.
Right. And I don't know, I know what's going to happen. People are going to email us and they're going to say, you should go see this, you should go see this.
Yeah.
We really only have a certain amount of time. So if we don't see everything, forgive us.
Right.
But we will see some stuff. But again, we are coming to say hi. If you are a gamer over there, please, again.
And fish and chips.
Oh, yeah, I'm so super pumped about that.
I want to try some fish and chips.
I'm pumped about just food in general, always. We will have some promos. I'll be probably carrying them on my person. I'll have some Dead of Winter promos, some Sheriff of Nottingham promos, some dice, and maybe some Mage Wars promos. So if you want to donate to the Dice Tower and get those in person, these are not the promos from this year's Kickstarter. They're the promos from last year in various ways. But if you're interested in those, please just come and say, hey, you said you had promos, and they should be in my backpack. And if not, I'll be like, I'll have them a little bit later. All right, so there's going to be a lot of publishers there. And this is cool because some of these games are there for the first time, from what I understand.
Really?
In public. Well, for example, Z-Man. Beyond Baker Street, I don't believe they've shown it off at any convention yet, and they definitely haven't shown Pandemic Cthulhu at any convention. So I played both of those games. Beyond Baker Street is a Hanabi style.
I haven't played Pandemic Cthulhu. That's one. I honestly, I could care less about Beyond Baker Street, but Pandemic Cthulhu is...
I think you might like that one. So I know that I don't know if they're selling it there, but I know they're showing it off. Mm-hmm. Fantasy Flight is showing off Star Wars Rebellion and Game of Thrones Trivia, something I probably would beat you at.
You would definitely beat me at that.
I think, but I would lose to pretty much anyone who's a fan of it because I know only a few things. Hodor. All right, Days of Wonder, so you have Quadropolis. That came out earlier this year, but definitely a game that you should check out.
AEG is going to have Dice City and Mystic Vale there. Mystic Vale is one of this guy's new hotness games, so you can check those out as well. Arcane Wonders is going to have Onitama and
I heard it's a good game.
Mage Wars Academy. It is a good game, Onitama. I just did a review of it. It's going to be releasing next week, as a matter of fact, so you can check that out as well. But Mage Wars Academy is also a good game.
I should mention, as we're going through the different games here, that we will probably not mention all of them.
Right.
And we're also... Honestly, these are random. They're not by like how much I want to see them or whatever.
Correct.
We just went through different lists and found stuff.
Right.
Cubico Games has Fog of War, which looks like a little abstract war game. I saw these like little wooden pieces.
All right.
I like the name. Although isn't Stronghold coming out with a Fog of War game too? From Eagle's name?
I
think so. All right.
Maybe.
But they're different games.
Coiled Spring Games is going to have Dragonwood, Sneaky Cards.
Both those games were originally published by Gamewright Games.
And a relaunch of Elfenland, Nefarious, New York 1901, and Civilizations.
So from what I can tell, Coiled Spring is a company that brings these games to England, essentially.
Right.
Because these are all games blue-orange and stuff. But I really like New York 1901 and Civilizations and Sneaky Cards. Remember that's that game where you like try to give a card to someone and it goes around the world?
Then they have to try to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
Phalanx Games has an expansion to Race to the Rhine coming out called 1944, The Red Ball Express. And they're also releasing the 20th anniversary of Hannibal, Rome versus Carthage. That sounds interesting.
Have you ever played that one?
I have not.
I played that.
But, I mean, I've watched it being played, and it's rather epic.
It uses that card combat system that's pretty intriguing. It certainly is a game that's gotten a lot of love. It's very high up. And 20th anniversary, Phalanx does not do a bad job on their production quality these days.
Not usually. Nope. IT Games is going to be showcasing a tactical soccer card game called Kix, K-I-X. Like not that cereal that you love.
I hate the cereal, but yeah, I don't know much about that one. The next one, the Boards and Dice people who've done Exoplanets and Curse of the Black Dice, I played those before. Multi-Universum, this one is actually premiering at the show. I really thought the artwork in this one looked cool.
Yes.
I don't know if the game is good, but the artwork, I was like, ooh, I want to try it out.
Artwork was top notch. That draws you in. You just got to see if it's a good game or not. Play more games. Dized, D-I-Z-E-D, is a tutorial app that teaches you how to play every game out there. I don't know how they're going to accomplish that, but if they can accomplish it, that would be a very cool app to have.
Yeah, I think I've talked to these guys. I think they want to replace Rodney Smith. No, what they want to do is they want people to say, who uses the rule book? Let's use this app. It's a noble aspiration. I hope it works. But again, it need a lot of support, so we'll find out.
That's a big chunk of something to chew. So
Ragged Brothers has Nina and Pinta, which is, about...
Nina and Pinta.
Oh, that's right. I didn't put the little NYs on there.
No, I didn't do it because I couldn't.
It's a command.
It's a Google Doc.
Oh, Google Docs. Well, anyway, we actually just got a copy of this game a couple weeks ago, but we haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But it looks like it's chock full of history, as their games always are.
Formal Ferret is going to be putting out a game called The Networks, which is a strategy board game where you are building up your TV network. So that sounds like an interesting theme.
I tell you what, I hope that Gil Hova, who I hope he did a good job in this one because I'm super excited about this theme. I think the idea of building a TV schedule is interesting. You know, like, hey, do I put a comedy before this drama or my Friday night? I don't know. I mean,
right.
I know that the actual real life network thing is like a game.
Yeah,
they're moving shows to different slots. So who knows? And then CG has Codenames and Through the Ages, both big games. I mean, if you haven't heard about them, I don't know what else to tell you.
Geek Attitude Games is going to have Taverna, Not Alone, and Save the President, Save the World. But that looks like it's going to be released in 2017. So maybe they're just demoing it, showing it off, showing you prototypes or something to that
I'll tell you
effect.
what, though. I did look at the previews of this one. I love the theming of it. You are trying to save the president because there's like a monster invasion and you need to stop this.
Yep. Backspindle Games is going to have a pocket version of Kodinka, I believe is how you pronounce it.
It's like a little abstract style game.
Yep. And Original Content London has a game that's a negotiation card game that plays in about 20 to 30 minutes called Battle of the Bands.
Isn't there like already a game called Battle of the Bands?
The one that I've played is called The Band is Better. Nick does have a game that he usually brings with him from, I can't remember who published it.
Third World Games originally.
And that one is called Battle of the Bands. So, I don't know. Maybe it's the same one. Maybe it isn't. I don't know.
Legend Express has a game called Glimpse, and another game I thought was interesting. It's called Boomtown. Now, there's already a game on Board Game Geek that's Boom Space Town. But this is one word, Boomtown. Oh, wait, or is this the two space? I forget. There's two of them.
Yes.
But this one was like released originally like 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
And this is like a new version of it. So, I don't know. They're like bringing this game back. So it's a classic. It may be a classic. I just haven't played it.
Right. Anvil Industry is going to have a game there called Afterlife, which is a 28mm tabletop war game about a civil war that happens in the future. So that looks cool. I'm always looking for new miniatures to check out and see if it's something that we want to do on something like maybe Battling Brushes or maybe a new variety show that could or could not be coming out in the near future.
28mm all the time.
What's that?
28mm, you just like that. As soon as you see that, you're like, ooh, painting.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where I don't know if I'm actually going to be interested in it, but the fact that it's a miniature war game, I'm slightly interested.
It's the mini stuff, right?
Yes.
56 is the Warhammer 40K.
I don't think it's 56. You know, I don't know all the numbers in my head. I think Warhammer 40K is in the 30 range. So this
28 is almost
a little bit smaller than that. Yeah.
Because 25 is an inch.
Warhammer miniatures are only like this.
Yeah, but that's usually more than an inch, I think. I don't know. All right. You can see our skills.
Yeah. Or lack thereof.
Happy Otter Games has a thing called Creature College, which I really like the artwork. This one looks cheerful and fun. And you know what else we know?
Absolutely nothing.
But wait! Mechanical Egg Game Labs has thought, hey, is there a game that theme that hasn't been done yet? So it's the Rap Challenge. I think that's beatboxing. I'm not sure.
Well, they do that and rap at the same time, I think.
It's the party game about rapping. So if you've been looking for that, it's here. Now, this one I think is really fascinating. I'm surprised I haven't heard more about this one. From Gen 42, Tatsu.
Tatsu, the dragon game.
Yeah, well, it uses dragons, and the pieces, I was like, wow, they look really good. Gen 42, and I couldn't figure out who that was, and it's the guy, the designer's the guy made Hive. And I don't know that he's designed any other game since Hive. This is a 2-player abstract strategy game.
Huh.
This should be getting some kind of buzz, because Hive is huge.
Is it where you can, like, detach part of your dragon tail and move it up to your head?
No, it looks like you're moving around on the board, but it's still another game from this guy, and people say, I'm not a huge fan of Hive, but people really think it's brilliant.
Right, yeah.
And so another game from the same guy, good quality, that's interesting.
A game that has been garnering a lot of attention of late, that is Guild Ball. Season 2 is going to be released at UKGE from Steam Forged Games. So that's something to definitely go check out if you have the opportunity to. It's a lot like a Blood Bowl or a Slaughter Ball type game or Chaos Ball, but you have smaller teams, and it looks like it's, or at least from what I've heard, sounds like it's easier to play than those other games. But it's a tabletop miniatures game. So that's something I'm definitely going to be looking into, because a lot of people have been giving me some positive buzz about Guild Ball. So we'll see.
Yeah, the next list of games are ones that we don't know a lot about, really. There's Oligarchy, a 2-player card game. Detour, a 2-player route-finding game.
9 Worlds is something that I'm looking forward to, just because of the theme alone, where it's 2 to 6 players battling for control over the 9 worlds from Viking and Norse mythology. So that looks like something that's interesting to me. I'm definitely going to stop by that booth.
I also thought you'd be interested in these V Commandos and the expansions. Right. It looked almost like a really cool tactical, not complicated game. It looks like it's a miniature game that's simpler maybe to play and to look at. Oh, let's see, where are we at here?
You can't pass that one up.
Well, geez, Scythe from Meyer Games. I know that it's not actually being released till August, but there will be, I would imagine, production copies there, because I know they exist.
Probably going to be running demos and that type of thing, I would imagine.
I'll tell you what, if we get a chance to play that, I would probably sit down and play Scythe. Yep. So there's a good chance of that. Pegasus Spiel has a ton of games coming out. They're probably because they're bringing them from different companies, like Animals on Board is originally from Eggert Spiel. But this one is interesting, Chariot Race by Matt Leacock. Right? Now, I played this game. It is a short-style racing game. When I played it, he was using like the pegs from the Roll Through the Ages and moved around on a little board, and you were like trying to get in front of other chariots and mess up other chariots. You were rolling dice to move, so it's not a super heavy game. And they have a game called Yeti, Bouncing Bunnies. Yeti,
Bouncing Bunnies. Zoobaboo.
Zoobaboo, the theme of this is you're trying to fit as many animals onto a raft as you can without it sinking. So, I don't know.
Sounds funny.
Are you moving them across it? I don't know.
Right. Mage Games has a bunch of games coming out too. Karatia, the Cohort, Raid and Trade, a reprint of Res Publica 2230 AD.
I think it's on our shelves now. So.
Yeah, it is. Ancestors Legacy, which is an expansion for 12 realms. And then Hoyuk Anatolia, which is an expansion for Hoyuk.
I like Hoyuk. You can check out my review of that. Grubbling Games is probably known, the Waggle Dance. The B dice game is really cool. And they also got Cornish Smuggler they came out with. And then they have a new bank robbery game, which I'm in already, period. That's a theme I don't
very
think
cool theme. But they don't have a name for it, or at least they didn't give a name for it in the literature that we've seen. But you're basically trying to pull off the best bank heist throughout the course of the game. So that sounds interesting to me. Grubbling Games, that was what we just went over. Hawk War Games, Drop Fleet Commander and Drop Zone Commander.
That's miniature style.
They are, and that's what was.
Aren't they pretty?
That's what made it pop for me. Yeah, those ships are just amazing. I missed the boat. See what I did there? For Battlefleet Gothic, but that game I've always been drawn to because of how the ships looked, and these ships remind me of that. So there's an automatic connection there. I'm going to definitely go check them out at Hawk War Games. All
right, Osprey War Games has their new version of the Escape from the aliens in outer space. And I'll tell you what, guys, I really like the original one, but it was like paper. This one is much nicer with erasable pads and things. Sam's not as big a fan of it as I am, but I really like it. And this new version looks really good.
It's a good enough game. Don't get me wrong. It's just that it didn't pop for me like it did for him. That's all.
Okay. Thames and Cosmos has Imhotep, which I'm sure people can be pumped about because, hey, it was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres, and after playing it, I think it has a decent shot at winning. Yeah. I think all 3 games have a decent shot at winning, but this one is very fun. Oh, and possibly Legends of Andor?
Yeah, that's going to be huge if they can get it there.
Right. Let's see. Triple Ace games. They have 2 games. The first was Cadaver, which is about
dead bodies.
Getting dead bodies. Really, that is what it's about. And then they had Halfling Feast, which after I looked at Dead Cadaver, I was like, oh man, are we eating halflings?
Feasting on halflings?
No, but it's actually halflings
feasting
on other things. But I was worried when I saw those 2 back to back like that.
We could eat their legs. They don't need their legs.
Yay Games has a game called Ominoes.
Yay!
Which is like dominoes without the D.
Without the D.
But it actually looks interesting because you're using dice, placing them on a board.
It does look cool, yeah.
Modifius has an expansion for Thunderbirds, the Tracy Island expansion. And then Airfix Battles. And this is something I'm interested in. Airfix Battles is like a beginner version of like airplanes fighting each other. Huh. So like you can get a set and it's like, okay, now you're getting into it, like an introductory into more complex fighting
So it's
airplanes.
A money sink.
Maybe, but you know those games can be pretty hefty to jump into.
They can.
So if it's a light version of that... Tinkerbot has a game called Ghostal Up, which I think is a pretty clever name, actually.
Yeah, that is really clever. Because you're trying to scare away your guests rather than keep them.
By turning into their worst nightmares. Now, I'm guessing, I haven't looked at the pictures, I'm hoping that it's lighter because that could be a pretty dark game.
That could be very dark, yes.
For me, it would be giant spiders with homework plastered on their faces. Mayfair is bringing over a lot of the stuff they put out over the last couple of years. King Chocolate, 5-Year Missions, Trombone, and the game that was just nominated for the Kennerspiel, Isle of Skye.
NSK Games is actually coming up with a game that I'm looking into in the name of Odin. And it looks just interesting where you're trying to do things to please Odin and gain his favor. That looked interesting to me, so we'll see. Then they're coming out with Heart of the Mists, an expansion for Mistfall. Game that we have tried to play.
Yeah, well, maybe the expansion comes with a better rule set. I don't know.
Hopefully, we'll see.
I'll tell you this: we went just like shot through a lot of games. A lot of these games, there's not a whole lot of information about them actually out there.
Right.
But we'll see more of them. Some of these games may be games that are either on Kickstarter now or coming to Kickstarter. That happens at these conventions a lot because they're going to be talking about these games in the future. But I'm hoping that some of these are actually finished products. I'm excited to look at all these. And so when we come back, we'll hopefully be able to say, hey, we saw these games and we'll give you more thoughts. But this is just a little bit of a preview. If you're going to be there, we hope to see you.
Please do not hesitate to come up and say hi. We don't bite.
Well,
often.
Unless I'm really hungry. Anyway, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
And I'm Sam Healey. We'll see you on the other side of the pond.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.